want to show you some of the best Facebook ad targeting strategies that you can set up to see the best success and most consistent results inside of your paid ads. And we're actually going to be going over 3 and 1 bonus strategy to allow you to set these up very simply and see the results come in predictably. So let's get right into it. So when most people are setting up targeting, a lot of people will start with some kind of a interest. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to set up a dummy campaign or a dummy ad set and kind of show you some of the options that you have when you are setting up your targeting, because there's so many options now inside of Facebook and it can get quite confusing. So first things first, here when you're inside the audience control section, which is really where this starts, the biggest option you're going to have is choosing the location, age range, and a big one is advantage audience or not advantage audience. Now, I think there's a few ways to think about targeting. There's one, your actual demographics of your ideal customer. Who's the right age range for your product or service? Who's the right gender potentially? And for most people, it's going to be both or all. Age range is definitely a big one. Do you find that you work with people that are maybe 40 to 65 or older, or you work with people in between, younger, older, etc.? It's important to notice and understand what demographic is the best fit for your product or service, because that serves as a good baseline. But then we get into more of this fun stuff here, which is the Advantage Plus audience. Now, this is a really big thing that Facebook's pushing, and sometimes you can't even change it. A lot of the times Facebook kind of pre-enables it for you, so you have to go with an Advantage Plus audience. And all this means is that Facebook is using their algorithm to kind of go outside of your recommendations and find more people. So for example, if I'm in here and let's say I wanted to target people that were interested in Gary Vee, because I'm inside of an Advantage Plus audience, Facebook is taking that interest as a recommendation and a suggestion, but not so much a guideline, not like a, hey, you have to target these people. Because it'll go in front of people that like Gary Vee, but if they know that there's other people that maybe like Tony Robbins or Grant Cardone or different other marketing kind of gurus, not that Tony Robbins and Grant Cardone are, but you get what I'm saying, it will go and find those people while going outside of what you're recommending them. Now, this is really the first thing that I want to mention, and usually the first targeting strategy that I always like to go with is something that's broad, something where you choose the demographics, so you choose the location that you're willing to target, and you choose the age range, and after that, you just leave it alone and let Facebook do its thing. And this is going to be an Advantage Plus audience as well. Most of the time, this is what I like to start with, because if you know that your ad is working to a broad audience, most likely it's going to work to the more targeted audience that you can set up in the future as well. So don't feel like it's a bad thing to go broad and let Facebook do its work, because Facebook's algorithm is really smart, and leaving this Advantage Plus audience on is super useful. Over the next few strategies that I'll go over, you can actually kind of bring in new variations just by either turning Advantage Plus on or off. Just understand that if we're going to be adding interests and you have Advantage Plus on, it could go outside those interests, so it may not be like a true test. That's the first audience. The second audience is going to be an interest-based audience, just like I said. So in this case, I am going to switch it to an original audience option, so it stays within the interest that I give. And same thing, you choose the demographics like location, age, gender, etc. And then we get to the Advantage detailed targeting. And this is where you can choose interests, demographics, behaviors, etc. that you can target people with. And what's great about this is I usually like to pick between 3 to 8 different interests to target inside of one ad set. But I also test ads where there's just one single interest. Both work very, very well. However, I would recommend starting with something that's a group of 3 to 5 is something that I find a sweet spot in. So for example, let's say I wanted to target people that were interested in marketing. Now, it could be really easy just to choose like this one, lead generation marketing, maybe advertising agency, or like marketing, right? These are great, but most people are going to pick those, so I always try to do my best to think like outside of the box. Sure, people are going to be targeting those, people are interested in that, but what else are people interested in? A really easy one that you can go after are different softwares. So let's say I wanted to target people that were interested in marketing. Well, I know that most cases they could be interested or using something like MailChimp, Salesforce, Fiverr. Fiverr's a really, really good one. I don't know if they have Fiverr on here. If they don't, Upwork is a really good one too. There we go. Fiverr, Upwork. I thought they had Upwork on here. Upwork is an employer. But these marketing softwares and different softwares as a whole are really, really great targeting options. So that's the second option. You have broad, then you have interest targeting. And you can go about that with an Advantage Plus audience or with the original audience option where you're kind of giving it and telling Facebook to stay within the confines of the options that you've given it. And then on top of that, you can do grouped interests where you've got between 3 to 8, or you can do one interest per ad set and test it that way as well. So after you've got those two different audience segments, you've got grouped interests with either putting them together, single interests, or broad. The next one that you can set up is custom audiences. Now, this is where you're taking your existing list, anyone that has kind of engaged with your business in some way, shape, or form, and either retargeting them or making a lookalike audience off of that. Now, one thing that people I think ignore a lot of the times with custom audiences is there are so many options to retarget and to build a list of people and an audience to actually target off of all these custom events and all these different sources. So if you haven't been running ads, but you have an organic presence and you're getting some likes, follows, engagement, etc. on Facebook and Instagram, you could retarget people, and I'll just pull up mine real quick. You could retarget people, anyone who engaged with your account over the past year. And you can customize this date option, and you can choose all these different options. People who messaged you, people who just visited your account, people who saved any posts of yours or an ad of yours. There's a ton of options here. And you can spread that out between the Facebook page and the Instagram account to have a pretty solid audience. On top of that, a really well-known one that a lot of people will use is uploading a customer list. This is also a great option, but you can take it a step further. A lot of people don't love lead forms. I think lead forms can make a very good top of funnel experience to get people into your world for a good price, for very, very cheap, and for low friction. Now, how you utilize those leads is a whole different story. And a lot of people will kind of just hope that the lead does what they want them to do, right? But a lot of the times, if you're generating leads on a lead form, it can be a really easy spot to retarget people. So for example, let's say I had a lead form here. What I could do is I could target different people who have gone through this lead form in different stages. So I could go after everyone who opened the form, everyone who opened but didn't submit, and then leads who basically opened and submitted. This middle one is a great opportunity. It's a very easy audience to build because essentially all your link clicks that you're getting from those lead form campaigns are people who opened but didn't submit the form, which makes a very good engaged audience that you can retarget. Combining that with people who did submit the form makes a great custom audience. Custom audiences are awesome. You don't have to have a huge customer list. You can retarget your website. You can retarget all these different areas and actually stack them on top of each other to create something that is a really valuable audience that you can target. Now, to take it a step further and to actually give you some breadth to this audience, this is where you could make a lookalike. So for example, let's say I did have a lead form that I wanted to target, and let's say I wanted to retarget or build an audience off of people who opened but didn't submit the form. That could be, depending on how much you're spending, a decent chunk of people. Once you make that custom audience, you can then make a lookalike audience where you take that original source and you tell Facebook, hey, I want you to find people that are as similar to those that have actually engaged and done that initial event. And with a lookalike audience, you can customize it from a 1%, and a 1% means the most similar to your source file. So if it's, let's say, past year of Instagram engagers, a 1% is going to be the people most similar to everyone that's engaged with my Instagram. 10% is still similar, but they're the most different for those people, and then you can go anywhere in between. And what a lot of people don't realize is you can actually do different ranges. So what you could do is you could actually do between 2 and 3%. You could do between 1 to 3, or just 1 and 2, or just 1 only. So there's a lot of different options here. The lookalike audience is a great resource that you can use to take an existing audience that's maybe on the smaller side and blow it up to at least 1 million people, which is a pretty healthy audience size across the board. Now, the last thing that I want to focus on is not necessarily a specific targeting option inside of Facebook, but it's something that a lot of people don't speak about, and it's super important, and that's actually targeting people inside of your ad. So I'll see if I have a good example here, but if you're speaking to the person directly inside of your ad creative, inside of your ad copy, you're going to attract that correct person into your business. If you're just hoping that the targeting does all the work for you, that's unfortunately not how it works. The best way to get this targeting to work effectively and to get your ads working effectively to attract the right people into your business, whether that's a buyer, an ideal client, etc., is to have the targeting lined up for who you want to hit, but then on top of that, have the creative and have the copy speaking to the exact person that you want to speak to. And I really like to do that within the primary text in the first line, and basically the lead-in of the copy, or in the creative, calling out the people that you want to work with, calling out your ideal customer and pushing away the people that aren't so much of a good fit. This is something that a lot of people overlook and a lot of people underestimate it, but it's one of the easiest ways that we've seen to get the right people into our business and into our clients' businesses without needing to do any crazy targeting metrics or any crazy targeting setups. You just rely on the basics and those will never stop working. I hope you enjoyed this video. Try out those targeting methods and see your ad results improve. If you want more Facebook ads marketing advice and just need more advice on your business and scaling it, join the Predictable Profits Mastermind. There's a link below for you to join. I'll audit your ad account for free. I'll audit your marketing strategy for free. And there's tons of resources in here to kind of get you a head start of scaling your business. I'll see you in the next video. Talk soon.